My name is Miko Roman, and I'm currently a senior studying bassoon performance at UW-Milwaukee. I'm also a private woodwind lesson teacher that teaches oboe, bassoon, flute, saxophone, and clarinet. I'm going to be talking about how to tackle the Vaulet etude number 7. In the next video, I'm going to make markings that will help you to practice this and to play it very musically. So follow along with the video and make markings in your music as I do it on the screen. After the video, I'll talk about what some of the markings mean. So the first set of markings that I made were carrots, like this, that broke up the etude into 4 different sections. This makes it easier to practice, and this also makes it easier to identify the form of the etude. Notice that the opening statement gets played 3 different times. The second set of markings were breath marks, which is one of the challenges of this etude is that there aren't very many places to breathe. The third set of markings that I made were dynamics. And the next set of markings were some tenuto markings throughout the etude. These markings don't mean to play the notes long. In this case, they mean to put emphasis on those notes. So measures 2, 3, and 4, the emphasis should always be on the 8th note that is on the and of 1. And anytime there is a figure like that, which is a leap followed by a downward scale, the emphasis should be placed on the and of 1. In measures 61 through 69, however, the emphasis should be placed on the first quarter note and the third quarter note of every measure. In measures 73, 74, and 75, the emphasis should be on the first 8th note and the 4th 8th note. So the beginning of every group of the 3-note slurs should be brought out, because there's no other measures like this in this etude. All other measures besides the ones that I just talked about, the emphasis should be on the first beat of the bar. So that's most measures. There are a couple spots where I put backwards arrows, and this is where you can take a little bit of time and add vibrato. Here are a few good practice techniques. First, be sure to always use a metronome. First, start slow. Find a tempo where you can play the quarter notes at. So this would be a good place to start. Eventually, you want the metronome to be clicking at the dotted half note. So that means that instead of every click is a quarter note, you want to feel it in one. So let's say this is what we end up at. So that'd be bum beep bum 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 bum, just like that. If there's a certain note in a given measure that is giving you the most trouble, let's take measure 22 for example. Let's say that you're always missing the low C sharp. Play through the measure and hold the low C sharp. And don't go on until you're comfortable with it. You can vary rhythms or articulations. So if we take measure 22 again, changing the articulation and rhythm, and then eventually, when you do that a couple times, play it normally as written and see if it has helped. When you can go back and forth, and this really helps you to get it under your fingers. Another technique is to practice starting at the end of the phrase and then adding measures going back. So if we start in measure 22, once you're comfortable with that, go back another measure. Once you're comfortable with that, go back another measure.